Okay guys, today is unit 6, day 3. We're going to solve systems by graphing. Those are the steps you have to follow. I'm going to do example 1 for you. The first thing you have to check is if your both equations are in y equals. If they are, you have to follow these steps right here. So you have to plug your two equations into y1 and y2. Let's do that right here. Go to y equals, plug your two equations. First equation is x minus 8. Second equation is negative 2x plus 1. Then we press graph. Your two lines will graph. If you only have one line graph, it means the two lines overlap. They are basically the same line and they will have infinitely many solutions. And if your two lines don't intersect, it means they will be parallel lines and they will have no solution. In this case, the two lines intersect, it means they have one solution, and that solution will be the intersection point of the two lines. We're going to find out what that intersection point is. So for that, we're going to press second trace, and we want the intersection point, so we're going to select number 5 for intersection, and then we're going to press enter 3 times slowly. 1, 2, 3, and there you have the intersection point. It says x equals 3, y equals negative 5. It means your point of intersection is 3, negative 5, and that's what you have to give me right here. 3, negative 5. So that's the same thing you have to do for each one of those examples. I'm gonna do number 4 for you. Number 4 and number 4, you have one of them not in y equals, so we have to solve for y. To solve for y, we only have to move x to the other side. But every time you move something from one side of the equal sign to the other side of the equal sign, you have to move it with the opposite sign. Here x is positive, so we'll go to the other side, negative. So here I will have 2y equals negative x plus 4. Then I have to get rid of this 2 in front of y. 2 is multiplying y, opposite of multiplying is dividing, so I will divide 2. If you divide 2 from one side of the equation, you got to do the same thing for the other side, so you will divide every single one of them by 2. Those 2 simplify, so y is going to be equal to the invisible number in front of the negative sign, and x is a 1. So this one is going to be negative 1 over 2x, and 4 divided by 2 is 2, so plus 2. Then we have our two equations in y equals, and if you check those two equations, you see they have the same slope, and they have the same y-intercept. So they are basically the same equation. And if they are the same equation, they will overlap, they will have infinitely many solutions. So your number of solutions will be infinite. And number 3, we also have both equations in a standard form. They're not in y equals. We gotta make them into y equals. So let's circle x, because I know I gotta move it to the other side of the equal sign. This is negative 3x. We'll go to the other side, positive. So my first equation is gonna be y equals positive 3x plus 8. This 8 is positive as well. Do the same thing with the second one. We circle x, we move it to the other side. This x is negative, we'll go to the other side, positive. So my equation is going to be y equals positive x minus 2. Then let's check. They don't have the same slope, therefore they're not parallel lines. They're not the same equation, so they're not overlapping, they're not the same